let's get back into the thick of it. Hi, bestie. You want to tell me why you didn't tell me, like, anything? August. Wait. Didn't the... I thought the Soseki case happened in, like, February. I can check later. That's not important here. Hi, Ray! Yeah, you don't say! Strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decided to shoulder the burden alone. Scared of your failure coming to light? Then how did the newspaper know about it? The trial started. Do you remember what you said, Susato? I had no doubt in your mind about my innocence. They'd stand by me to the last. Yes, I remember. That's fine. The defendants almost always hide important details. Yes! Do the Susato takedown! Yep. Situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task. See more clearly now. So, Ray, you find it in your heart to forgive me? Yay! So what else do you have to tell me? Uh-huh. Well now, whatever do you mean? Collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. So the crack in the beach hut, the photographer with the knife, RM, great mystery indeed. Still can't believe it happened, that's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up. Looking like a true Mikotaba. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. Make sure we have our facts in order. In fact, the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. We should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now. Trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids. The police won't have any way of testing for it. Oh. Without this chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the toxin. Put that in the court record! A colleague of mine offered some earlier to deliver it to police headquarters. Perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case. We're gonna put it in the pen. What's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet. Newspaper article. Yeah, how did the information get out? God damn it, Soseki. Many Memo did it. Then he didn't, because why else would he have the photograph? And he's in the spot where he could have stabbed him. Finally! Let's go show Many Memo who's boss. I shall not bring shame to the Naruhodo name. Even though I'm just temporarily borrowing it. Unless, of course, they do actually get married at some point, in which case I'll be borrowing it again forever. Prosecutor Ouchi, have you summoned the new witness? Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share. During the recess with the collaboration of Professor Mikotaba's laboratory, let's re-examine the knife. Excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter. Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I shall be carrying out your instructions, of course. Had the reagent delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw, so it will be there in good time. Judging by the man's swagger, I feel we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable. And counsel, what were the results? The dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade. What? I would stake the reputation of the police on it. Couldn't have made a mistake. It's not possible. In short, the accused feebled excuse earlier. Oh, look at this. It's supposed to be the victim's blood. I like this profile spread for Susato. Nothing else to really note about the knife, I guess. Prosecution is ready to call the new witness. How did she get the pen? Very well, officer, bring the new witness. No trace of poison on the knife. If that's really the case. How could the toxin have entered the victim's body? By pen. It is him! Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Write in Many Memo, the Shoya News. I'm what people like to call a giorno. What's a giorno? The contraction of journalist. I'm there when the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops in there in the print the next morning. Don't call me the hero of the Herald, but nothing. The nice guy of news. Did you take this photograph? Oh well, what have we here? Sorry. Oh, brace yourselves, people. Many Memo says it's a scoop of the offering. Female studied of the foul play defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. Thank you. Original left this up. We'll set it about the full at 72 point and 5-leg format for the morning edition. Right then, let's start with your name. It's Rutaru Naruhodo. Next, what made you want to become a lawyer? I want to reform my country's legal system, I suppose. Rutaru has suddenly become very ambitious, I see. Or Cosmos on the street for a while. By the way, my name is Takasuchi Ouchi. That's Takasuchi Ouchi. So-called Dark Horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart. What's with the blue stuff on your hand? I'm assuming it's ink, but like... No, the readers won't buy that. What? Yes? What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. Delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday. Yeah, I wouldn't be a Jonah if I didn't click quite when presented with a scoop like that now, would I? Sometimes stories call out to me, sometimes I have to chase them down. Either way, you gotta be fast. Fast legs to run with and fast hand to write with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call... Many memoism. Many memoism. Ah, yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself and Soseki-san. That's right, that was me, Many Memo again! But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu newspaper news offices after our meeting. The scoop is, I didn't! Because that Englishman's word that piqued my journalistic interest. Expert's words? Criminal, left to do what she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen? Horse dung! This country's judiciary is rotten to the core! Supreme Court's rulings aren't worth paper they're written on! The police are just imperial pawns! Slay your tongue, young man! These are complex political issues at play! Well, anyway, quickly jotted down those words you said in my memo pad. You ready? I'll read it out. It's all here, right, here goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. Serious criminal going on some junket? People need to know about this. So I decided to sneak after them. Get the book and story so I can hammer in the press. Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph. Oh yes, I saw it with my very own Jono eyes. From start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera. Thank you, Minimoto-san. You will now give formal testimony before the court. Said exactly what it is you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death. Big Top was made of shiny old reed screens. There are plenty of gaps I could see inside them. The biggest one was sitting on a stool when the student girl came and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife. Throwing the Englishwoman to the floor, she stabbed her in the back. My smoke-ring journal spear burst into flames. Quick as a flash, I whipped out my camera, ready to click. Pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot. Read screens, you say? Right, you can see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped. Hut walls were just screens made of coarsely woven reeds. Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat. It's a breeze trying to poke my camera through to see the whole thing hotting up. And for the time being, the appalling invasion of privacy involved. You witnessed everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut. Oh yes, I saw it. Saw the whole thing from start to finish. Then you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens. Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. Pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. Get away with it, would it be seen? The gamble of a lifetime! Tenacity of purpose is considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose. Hang on a second. Where did he open the... This has to be the little gap he made, but you wouldn't be able to see all that. He'd have to do it from over here. Because you can see the doorway. So it'd be from... Yeah, it'd be blocked by the dress. Risk one day, scoop the next. That's the many memoism in a nutshell. Last, here we have genuine witness to this wicked crime. Evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict. Wonderful news, Your Excellency! Wonderful! Nevertheless, it cannot be denied. This testimony begs one very large question. Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published? It seems clear to me there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood. Ha! More pathetic excuses! Very well then, Counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Excellency? There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest. I mean his camera. His camera is going to become evidence. Alright. Time to badger this witness until he spills. Okay. How much do you know about that? I saw her entering the hut. Yep, she was raging like my Journo spirit. You stole it. I didn't steal it. That kind of thing. What about the poison, I suppose? The little girl walked right up to the Englishwoman and really started laying into her. If she'd laid into her anymore, there would have been eggs. His descriptive talents are wasted on Jonathan. So it's running so on deaf ears, like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time. Needs to work on his similes. Let's talk about how quickly you whipped it out. Quiet as he's been. Afraid I don't understand a word that's coming out of your mouth. Why is the journalist you decide not to make a story out of the incident? He is a sculptor who makes art out of the sordid, private details of other people's lives. I never discuss my own personal life on principle. That's basically many-memoism. Yeah, that's it. My burning desire to see something or other exposed. The problem is your perfect shot would have been blocked by the dress. Press him on everything he said. Got it. As you command, Father.
Hold it!
Journo instinct. You wanted to peep on a young woman changing. You had a camera and you're taking pictures without the woman's knowledge. A scoop? Scoop knows no gender? Ay. This is a rough witness. I think I pressed him on the argument already.
Hold it!
Let's talk about the knife. Hellish seed! Simple plan to the beach hut. Ready memo pad. Alright, so where do you want to tell us that you saw it from? Because it would have had to been like this little upper leftish area, but there's a dress that would obscure your view. Okay, victim. Then the next one, I was watching. The evil student girl entered the hut. While the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. Next one went from the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. Flash, plunge a knife into your adversary's back as the two passed each other. Described as a grim crime indeed. Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what many memoism says. By the way, Many Memo-san, whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, thought it occurred to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capture it on film? Journalists have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our reason to tread. Alright, so as you can see, in this instance, he would be like over here in order to capture most of the door and a good chunk of this. But there's this big dress in the way, so he wouldn't have been able to do it. That's what I'm gonna have to bank on. Also, why'd they go into so much detail in the open chest thing? Ha! Ah, thanks, Dad. Many Memo-san, you will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement. All nihilism is the foundation of Many Memoism. I'll gladly prove my words aren't meaningless. Never once set foot in the hut nor spoke with Englishwoman. I was there only as an observer. I guess we press him on this.
Hold it!
Really? You didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Quite sure about that. We have the wrong impression of me. Oh, his armband! It matches the thing! It is his pen! We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves were stretched to breaking point already. I see. You're scared? Yeah, I did have the wrong impression of you, yes. That's all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hand steady enough to snap the one shot. Really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera. Many Memoism and humanism don't always agree. Sometimes in those instances, Many Memoism comes out on top. Sculptor of stories sometimes have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on. He's making all this up. Well, now we've pressed everything, I think. So... In that case, how did your pen end up in her hand? Let's examine this. We can't examine this much. We're in a foreign language. It's German. German's the international language of medicine. Medicine's appropriate. Never set foot in the hut nor spoke with the Englishwoman, was only there as an observer. Man, if only her leg wasn't there, we could see if she already had the pen or not.
Objection!
It is the pen. Many Memo-san, until now I've had a firm belief. Newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth. You're on the spot there! The press doesn't lie, so I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Shoyo News on my arm. Wait, that's more Many Memoism. Sadly, though, it seems that journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth. What are you suggesting with those recriminatory words, counsel? Nemo-san, do you recognize this fountain pen? Ah! The pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murdered victim was gripping it with her hand as she died. What are you? Like the barrel of the pen, you notice that it has its owner's initials are engraved there. R.M. Yes, thank you for bringing that up, counsel. The initials of the accused, Ray Membami. It's a coincidence, I wonder. But your initials are also RM. No! Writing Memo. Many Memo. RM. That's horse dung! Can't you say one of these central tenets of Many Memoism is being a pencil user? Yet, as the court will clearly be able to see, on your right hand, there's a very obvious blue ink stain. It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is. Horsey horse dung! Memo-san, not the case that before she died, yet with Jezile Brett at Beach Hut. Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense? It's nothing but another excuse! Exactly! Shoyo News will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There'll be many people with the initials RM. There are stars in the sky. That says neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky. There's no need anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there's another clue that undeniably proves who the owner really is. In that case, counsel, the defense will now show the court where this alleged clue lies. Of course, Your Excellency. The clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is... Got it! Well, the initials, there's also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you'll of course recognize, Many Memo-san. Goodness me, it's the emblem of the Shoyo News! The owner of this pen is an employee of the Shoyo News. His initials are RM. Suddenly, the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they? Well, Many Memo-san, how do you respond? No! Order. Explain yourself, witness. Ha. So, that's how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics of well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets. They use nothing but honest tactics. Alright then, fine. I won't try to hide it anymore. Yes, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded, I, show you news reporter on behalf of the public, conducted an interview with the Englishwoman. You never mentioned this before? What exactly was this? As I said, it was before that evil little student girl showed up, her face in the hut. Couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. Just a brief exchange. It came to nothing. As we many memos say, the people don't pay their dues for unworthy news. However insignificant you deem it may be, the court cannot overlook this meeting between yourself and the victim. You'll testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired. Got it. Yes, all right, but on one condition. Condition? Oh, conscious, I couldn't speak out alone about this. Need to call back the earlier witness, Soseki Natsume-san. Soseki-san? Oh yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own. Brace yourselves. Because it's not a harmless one, it's big! What? Soseki? Many memos states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story. Grant the witness's request in this instance. Officer, summon the earlier witness back to the stand. Soseki-san, hiding something? Not that I'm surprised this guy has it after he's been stalking him for months. I asked the Englishwoman for an interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witnesses running in. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. He didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why many memoism demands I reveal it now. You mean to say the victim regained consciousness? When she did, you decided to ask her a question? That's, true, yes. He did. That's not all. The woman gave a very definite answer. Answer that incriminates the accused. Soseki. This is preposterous. Why am I hearing about this now? Why didn't you do this before, you yokel hack? It wasn't even the conversation. Yes, I did pose the withering English rose a question. I don't deny it. But she could no longer speak. She's very conscious even. Counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. Court must and will know the truth. Absolutely, Your Excellency. Porter is claiming that Miss Brett implicated Ray somehow? What on earth could have happened in that hut? Why does Hosonaga always disappear at the most important parts?
Hold it!
Tell me more. There's no way you went that quietly. Aha! John H. Wilson. Why'd you murder Dr. Wilson? Yes, that sort of talking is as straight as a ruler. Like every question is if you're asking for a menu item in the restaurant. It's the best way. Whatever the paper taught me that. One simple phrase. Mystery is a woman's charm. Woo! That told me, so I waltzed right out of there. Really? Really? Every room was either waltzing in a dance hall, I say. It's the best way. But none of the paper taught me that. Watching secret from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed. Detective realized the victim still had a pulse, so he ran out to fetch help. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. What did he say? Well now, since you hear that from the horse's mouth, I think. Do you, Mr. Writerman? Arrgh! Out with it, you yokel hack! What did you say to her? What did you say to the dying Englishwoman? Well, in truth, I've been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see. Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose, even for a grown man. Then, all of a sudden, from that little beach hut, A young girl's panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air. I ran up the beach to see what was happening. Find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. So Inspector Hosonaga saw Miss Brett on the ground. She sprinted off to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan. A moan from the dead English woman. I nearly jumped out of my skin! What did you ask her, Soseki-san? I asked her, who did this to you? How did the woman respond? She didn't! She said nothing in response! But... Understand, you will answer the questions asked of you unambiguously. Now, without evasion or reticence, I demand you you amend your testimony. I will! Asked her, who did this to you? But she never replied.
Hold it!
Tried to find out who the culprit was. He who asks a question is a fool for a minute. He who does not remains a fool forever. I've been labeled a criminal twice during my time in Great Britain. I was quick to make up my mind. Better to be a fool for a minute than remain a fool in prison forever. However, you've indicated the victim failed to respond. Is that correct? I know why. I know why the English woman said nothing. She was ignoring me because of my stupid mustache, because I'm Japanese. Oh dear. He's got a dislike for the English. Having read the report in his time in Great Britain, I can't say I'm surprised at his xenophobia. But the English woman didn't ignore you at all. Did she, Mr. Riderman? Well, yes. Alright. She did respond in a manner of speaking, I suppose. She lifted a trembling finger and pointed in the direction of the defendant. What? But she doesn't have a finger here! What do you mean?
Hold it!
Brett pointed a finger at the defendant. Is that really true? It's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the English woman was sprawled on the floor before us, with a certain girl standing on the far side of her. When I asked, who did this to you? The English woman summoned her last ounce of strength to point a trembling finger at the back of the hut. Which, it can't be denied, the direction of the student girl who stands accused today. Now, Soseki-san, why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony? What? Fiddlesticks, I say! Not a British court of law, you respond in Japanese. Yes, of course, the Englishwoman did point her finger towards the back of the hut, but I was trembling, and she was trembling, and everything was a blur. Thinking about it, feels as though perhaps she was pointing in a slightly different direction. Actually, no, not slightly, in a very different direction to where the student girl was standing. Somewhere at the back of the hut, where no one was standing at all. And that your memory of events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear? Yes, that's it, unclear. I'm very, very unclear. Excellently. Surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt. Yes, the woman may barely have any conscience, and yes, perhaps her finger wavered slightly. We no doubt this was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why? Because as the court can see, there was no one other than the accused in the direction the victim was pointing. What do you mean? We got a camera shot showing there was someone else in that direction. I've got a credible argument. I object! Come on. Alright, headline's writing itself. Dashing lawyers, hopes dashed. 92 point across the whole page. We'll do an extra edition. Serious blow. Thus we're able to identify the true culprit and substantiate our claim with evidence. The judge will give his ruling and the trial will be over. That's not impossible. Possible, the task may seem, we have no choice. We must think over everything we've learned thus far. Somewhere in all those details, I'm confident we'll find the clue we need. Aha! We've been slightly backed into a corner. We have to prove that she was not, in fact, pointing at the witness, but someone else who was behind the thing. So basically, this is an extremely straightforward case. Well, that's easy. She had her back against the coarsely weaved reeds, and someone pried them apart and stabbed her. Take it then the defense has nothing further to add? So, the gallant yokel student's luck finally runs out. Can't say I'm surprised. In that case, I'm ready to deliver my final verdict on this matter. Object! I know how!
Objection!
Keep sweating, Mini Memo. Oh? To what end, counsel? Defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. Alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implication with her dying gesture. Alternative theory? Ha!
Objection!
There's someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime. What? And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time by mustering all her remaining strength and pointing the trembling finger in the killer's direction. This is fiction! Fantasy! Very well, you seem so sure of yourself, counsel. I'm prepared to hear your alternative theory. So, young Ryutaro Naruhodo. Yes, your excellency. Present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. The moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed? Why, it's simple. I'd say about right here-ish. True culprit was in this area here. There, counsel. That's right, your excellency. I believe the culprit was hiding in the location I've indicated. Why? Oh, well, it's rather... Okay. Alright, do I have to be directly behind the thing? Come on. Yeah, it's directly behind the thing. Oh, I didn't read the thing properly before the moment the victim was stabbed.
Take that!
Yes, you're disguised as a Naruhodo. True culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett was at this location here. Are you mad, counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut! Ah, what? Order. But student lawyer Naruhodo-san Esquire, that makes no sense at all. You just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snap. I didn't see any suspicious individuals lurking about, I can swear to that. Obviously, the culprit had been outside the hut. There's no way he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut. Actually, Prosecutor Ouchie, there is a way. And, in point of fact, defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that this is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed. You're bluffing, you yokel! That's assertion is clearly too fantastical for a court to comprehend. You need to give us more guidance, counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut? This very incriminating photograph. Well, I've presented it now. I have the first idea why I chose the... What? The whole... Okay, I got it. I need to present the other photograph. Okay, alright. That's two penalties because I didn't read. It's supposed to be this one with this little slice here.
Take that!
The original photographic print of the crime scene. It's clearly visible in this print. Traces the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut. Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing. I'm sure that everyone present would agree. I do gotta read, I'm sorry. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to. I did graduate. Yes, please explain for the court. Where is the trace of the stabbing? Right here. I don't know how no one else in the courtroom and none of the police members noticed this. Screen at the back of the hut. You can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds. No, I can't. I can't see any such thing. True, the hut in question had 4 walls, as you'd expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them. This is extraordinary. Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. Ah! Everyone present at the scene, there's only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Right in Mini Memo-san! It could only have been you! No!
Objection!
This preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again! The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Are we to assume, as part of this farcical scenario, the assailtant was a knife thrower? No, of course not. Or not? Recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. She just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable. A stool! How would I look at the photograph? Slid in the read screen. Aligned perfectly with the back of a person who is sitting on the stool. My word. So, in fact, the victim was killed while sitting on that stool by stabbing to her back delivered through the read screen. Ah! Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. Was that instinctively? Not unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut before the defendant, Nanbami-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day. Well, Mimi Murderer-san, I take it you don't deny the charge? This is absurd! That will do. It appears that we have attacked admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means that the defendant, Nanbami-san, is innocent of the crime. We did it! Yay! Must say, I've never been more proud. No, this can't be! The Ouchie clan can't! What of my growth? My growth of hope! It wasn't an apparition. I can't accept this. I won't! See no reason for the continuance of this trial. Therefore, move to conclude proceedings by delivering my final verdict, and